Ceasefire talks, Fed drama, and stocks swinging like crazy. Welcome to the hottest trading week of 2025. Want to know which stocks are about to moon and how to cash in? Hit that like button and stick with me because I'm spilling the tea on your next big trades. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 stocks to trade, day trade, anything for the rest of the week and even for the rest of the month that can make you a great amount of money, especially in these times. Let's get started. So let's catch up on the past 24 hours. It's been wild. The Iran and Israel conflict cooled off slightly after reports that Iran is seeking a ceasefire and nuclear talks, per Wall Street Journal. Oil prices dropped 3.66%, with Brent back at around $68, easing inflation fears. This sparked a risk-on rally on Monday, with Dow up about 0.75%, S&P climbing around 0.94%, and Nasdaq jumping around 1.5%. But not everyone's winning. Defense stocks like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman slid 2 to 4% as de-escalation hopes hit their momentum. With that being said, though, we do have some new news. We're going to be coming out a little bit later with the overall Israel and Iran updates for you guys. I try to update you guys every single day on what's going on, and it is getting a little bit more heated. The US is evacuating nearby bases and stuff like that, and it is getting insane. But we still have a chance of a ceasefire, but basically Iran, they were going to have some talks, but basically Iran still got bombed and stuff like that. And they said they're not going to, talk while they're getting bombed, if you guys understand what I mean. But we're going to be talking a little bit about that a little bit later. Meanwhile, Trump's tariff saga continues, with letters to trading partners expected this week to set new rates, keeping the US dollar weak. And the US dollar is falling. We're getting bad news with the US dollar overall, which is insane. So Tesla and Palantir, though, caught a bid, with Tesla up on US-China trade optimism and Palantir gaining 2% pre-market on conflict-driven AI demand. With that being said, though, look at that. Tesla is falling right now, so keep Tesla on your radar to the downside. We did indeed break past at 330, but didn't really show that much momentum right after that. Oh, and keep in mind, the Fed meeting kicks off today. More on that in a second. But what's cooking for the US stock market this week? It's a high stakes game. So here's the rundown. Iran and Israel developments. Iran ceasefire signals lifted markets on Monday, but any escalation, like Iran targeting Israel's oil fields, could spike oil again and tank stocks. But a full de-escalation would crush energy and defense stocks, but lift tech. I'm making YouTube shorts to update you guys with the news, so have those post notifications on, because I'm going to try to update you guys as much as I can on this news that comes out with Iran and Israel and any trade talks. So Federal Reserve meeting. The Fed is wrapping up tomorrow, and 99.8% of traders expect rates to stay at 4.5%. But the real juice is in Jerome's comments afterwards. If he hints at fewer 2025 rate cuts due to tariff-driven inflation, growth stocks could dip. What about a dovish tone? That's rocket fuel for tech. So keep that in mind overall. We can hit new highs and probably break past them if we do get a dovish tone. So Trump tariff threats, Trump tariff letters could rattle markets, especially autos and aerospace, if duties hit Canada or Europe. But a US and China trade deal, if finalized, might boost stocks like Tesla. So key data drop. So today's May retail sales could signal consumer strength or weakness. Thursday's PPI and jobless claims will also sway sentiment. Strong data may delay rate cut hopes, pressuring markets. Volatility is the name of the game. The S&P 500 is near 6,000, but RBC warns of a 20% drop is possible if oil spikes or Fed tightens. So stay sharp around here and be willing to adjust. You could trade both ways, calls or puts, and or, if you guys are future traders, you guys can play to the downside as well. Keep that in mind. Always be willing to adjust, but keep those stop losses close. Options can make you a lot of money, especially right now. A lot of people are getting into options, no matter if you're experienced or just starting out. My course is for anyone trying to learn more about options and finally become profitable. It has strategies to help you never lose money and learn everything you need to know. First link in the description below. All right, so let's get back to Iran and Israel. So over the past 2 days and today, the Iran and Israel conflict has escalated with intense missiles exchanges and airstrikes, causing significant casualties and raising fears of a wider regional war. So on June 15th, Israel hit Iranian military and energy sites. Iran fired missiles at Tel Aviv, Haifa, killing 4, injuring 15. Iran reported 224 deaths, 1,481 injuries from Israel's strikes. Israel had 14 deaths and 380 injuries in total. U.S. helped intercept missiles, urged calm. Houthis attacked Israel, and the airspace is closed. So on June 16th, Israel bombed Iran's TV station and military targets, killing 4 officers. Iran launched more missiles at Israel, warned evacuations. Iran reported 220 plus civilian deaths, 1,000 plus injuries. Israel had 24 deaths, 600 injuries. US sent more forces. Global calls for ceasefire grew. A lot of other countries want a ceasefire. Even China is trying to de-escalate this. Tehran saw mass exodus. Oil shipping is disrupted. For today, no new strikes reported, but tensions high with evacuation warnings. US warned Iran against targeting its interest. Global leaders push for peace. Iran demands Israel attacks to stop first before they, talk about peace or anything like that. Like I said earlier, basically they were going to talk, but then bombings happen. They're not going to talk if they're still getting bombed, if you understand what I mean. So we've seen Trump depart G7 early as the tension spiked in Israel and Iran. And basically, Trump saying Iran is open to negotiations. So, if the Israel and Iran conflict drags on, oil prices may surge sharply. Rising energy costs could reignite inflation, prompting the Federal Reserve to reconsider its timeline, possibly delaying planned rate cuts rather than accelerating them. Oil markets ongoing hostilities near the Strait of Hormuz risk disrupting supply, keeping Brent crude elevated, potentially above 80 to 120 a barrel. Fed's dilemma with inflation pressure returning via energy stocks, the situation in the Middle East is major wildcard for the Fed. Markets impact, higher oil could squeeze consumer prices and growth, increasing the likelihood the Fed will hold rates steady longer and possibly delaying cuts now expected later on this year. So we see oil prices rise and US futures fall as Israel urges residents of Iran capital to evacuate. Before we give you guys 5 stocks to day trade, let's get to some supports and resistance and kind of give you guys the rundown of what to expect for today. So for the overall SPY, I will be watching that 600 level, and then past that 600 level, look at 602, 602.7, 604, and that 605 level. Past that, look at 606.5, 608, and 610. To the downside, I want to see if it breaks. If it doesn't break that 600 again, look for that 598.5, 597, 595, and that 593 level. Understand that we can go both ways with this. We spiked a decent amount with, all the fears and the de-escalation coming out on Monday, but now we don't know. The market can go either way. So please take your time. Apple hasn't really been looking too sharp, up and down, not really moving past that 200 level. So I do want to watch that 200 level for Apple if we can break above that. 201.5, 202, 205, and 210. To the downside, look at that 195 level. If you break below that 195 level, look at 193.5, 192.5, and that 190 level for Apple. For NVIDIA, we did have a big breakup all the way up to that 146. So I want to see if we can break above that 145 first, and then go to that 146, and then 147.5, and then 150 for NVIDIA. To the downside, look at 143, 141.5, and that 140 level for NVIDIA. Next is going to be Palantir. We did move a decent amount with Palantir as well, all the way up to almost 145. So I personally want to see if we can break above that 143 and then test that 145. And if you finally break above that, honestly, we're to the moon. Not really. Maybe like 150 or something like that. To the downside, look at that 140 flat. And if we break below that 140, we kind of bounce off of it in the after hours market. But look at that 138.5 and then 135 for Palantir. For Tesla, man, hasn't really been moving too strong. Honestly, I think this one is going to move based on trade war, and the Israel and Iran can really just bring it down overall. So I want to see if we can break that 330 level with Tesla, past that 330, look at 335, and then that 340 level. If you can break above that 340, look at 350 next. To the downside, look at 322, 320, 315, and then all the way down to that 310 level for Tesla. Take your time, have your patience, and honestly, just have your patience really with that one. Next one is going to be Bitcoin. We did honestly rally all the way up to that 108, almost 109 level for Bitcoin, which is insane. But this one is also going to move based on the war, trade tensions, all that. So honestly, we do got the Fed meeting as well that can really move markets, especially depending on how he talks afterwards and questions asked. But with that being said, man, if we can break back up to that 109, maybe get to 110, we can look good. And or we can start breaking down even more to like 105.5, 104, maybe even 103 to the lows. Some stocks to trade, MSTR, of course. You could trade it up or down based on how Bitcoin moves. Make your moves pretty well. And then Coinbase. But the problem with these, the options are pretty expensive. So I do recommend looking at the ETF that moves with Bitcoin, and that is IBIT. You can make a lot of money up or down depending on where it goes, like Bitcoin in general. And the plays are relatively cheap, like 200 bucks. So honestly, take your time with trading today and good luck. Comment down below what stocks you guys are watching. Now, the part that you're here for, 5 stocks to day trade this week and why they're good stocks to day trade. First one is going to be ExxonMobil. Honestly, man, I do recommend waiting until it gets to like this 111 level and maybe playing it to the upside and or watch that 114 and the play to the downside. Just have your patience with this one, but oil is still volatile despite Monday's dip. They have 3 to 4% daily ranges, make it a day trader's dream. Watch for reversals at around that 118 on Middle East news. Next one is going to be RTX. It has elevated options volume from conflict fears. So honestly, just watch how it moves. That 150 is going to be a dope level to watch, but it can even break past this and go up even higher. And you can even play put options if we get some de-escalation and or some peace talks. Especially peace talks, this stock will make you a lot of money if you play it to the downside. Next one is going to be CrowdStrike. Cybersecurity is hot and we really need it. But with that being said, we're not really making a big break even right now. So just take your time with this one and just look for spikes and you can play it both ways, up or down. We have been moving up and down at around that 488 to that 489, all the way down to like that 476 level. So you can play both ways, up or down. So keep this on your radar. Next one is going to be gold. Gold is making some decent moves and is a safe haven that everybody is going to. So honestly, it's news sensitive and perfect for quick trades. So keep news on your radar for this one if you guys do want to trade this one. Next one is indeed going to be Palantir. I'm going to be hyping this one up a little bit because if you really think about it, Palantir is the best of both worlds. Palantir is going to move with tech and AI, and they're also going to move with news-driven markets, but mainly like US or NATO, something like that. They have a lot of deals with the US military. So if they're going to make a lot of money if we go to war, basically. So keep all these stocks on your radar today and comment down below any other stocks that you guys are watching. But that's your trading blueprint. Oil, defense, and tech are in play, but keep those stops tight because your market is spicy. Drop your favorite stock picks below, smash that subscribe button. Let's get the 500 subs and let's stack those profits. See you guys in tomorrow's video and maybe even in the shorts if you guys stick around. I'm also going to be making another video today as well. But let's get some money today. Comment down below how much money you guys made. And you can even comment down below your losses. You can include a journal entry as well that helps you become a more profitable trader. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.